Make sure you time it when
right when you went live. That was amazing.
Feel free to sample that for the soundboard too.
Uh-huh.
For our morning zoo episodes.
Yep. Have to make a jingle out of that, the burping noise. Yeah. Hello and welcome to episode 590 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, February 27th, 2018. I'm your host, Chris Johnston. With me, as always, from Canada, Mr. Greg Seward. Hello.
Hi. I'm on my super clean, fresh install of Windows 10.
Nothing can go wrong during this recording then. This is going to be problem-free. Yeah, problem-free recording. Because Windows 10 doesn't like to just install things.
No.
And restart your computer while you're doing important things. So, yeah. And joining me from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Theobald. Hello.
It seems today that all you see is violence in movies and sex on TV. But
how long have you been perfecting
Family Guy. How long has Family Guy been on the air? Let me answer your question with a question there, Lois.
I don't know.
How long has Family Guy been on the air?
18 years?
18 years, jeez.
I don't know. It took a few years off in the middle there.
That's crazier than that time Marty McFly traveled back with B.A. Baracus to kill Hitler.
Yeah, I don't recall that reference at all.
Hi.
How you guys doing?
Hi, Chris. Hi, Greg.
Hi.
It's called me Chris.
Yeah, that's weird.
Who does that?
That is weird.
I don't know why I did that.
That's just weird.
I don't know.
I guess I was stuck in the Family Guy mode.
Okay.
Chris
Well.
and Meg and Talking Baby. Yeah.
How long can you go, eh?
Probably all episode if you really want to test me.
No. For like the April Fool's episode, we got to do something like that.
April Fool's episode will be a two-man podcast hosted by Family Guy and Bane.
I've already gone halfway down my Facebook wall.
There you go.
Yeah. We're still in the intros.
Well, hope you're not down to like 2010 whenever Burnout Paradise came out.
Oh yeah,
Burnout Paradise is coming back, baby.
Cool. Remember that game that killed the Burnout?
Hey,
franchise?
you took my tweet.
Oh, did I really?
Yeah, that was exactly what I tweeted.
When did you tweet that?
Around the same time. I don't know. It led into the whole conversation that has resulted in CJ and I being scheduled for an upcoming episode of the new Back in My Play.
Indeed.
Oh, okay.
To talk to Kevin Larrabee about why he's so wrong about Burnout Paradise.
And why like it? Burnout 3 Takedown is the best.
Yes.
Burnout.
He likes Paradise.
He does.
9 out of 10 scientists agree that Burnout 3 was the pinnacle of that series.
There was one good thing about Burnout Paradise.
The soundtrack?
And that was, hey, you, I don't like your girlfriends.
Was that on there?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that was
what we talked about when
that was my Burnout Paradise.
Why the hell would I remember what we talked about when Burnout Paradise came out? The only thing I remember about Burnout Paradise, I remember two things about Burnout Paradise. One, I didn't like it, and two, CJ bought too many copies.
That's right.
I bought 2 copies. I bought one for the Xbox 360 and one for the PlayStation.
Said, too many copies.
Yep.
True. But I liked it at the beginning. So now I won't have to buy another copy though because it's on EA Access. On Xbox, I can just play a little demo of it there. Get my fill and be done with it.
You get your fill every week.
CJ, you can get your fill whenever you like. You simply have to ask.
Yikes. So the Burnout Paradise remaster comes out on PlayStation 4, Xbox One on March 16th for the MSRP of $39.99.
Brutal.
It's also coming to PC, but that won't be until later in the year.
Yeah, you know what? I mean,
there are mom on a Switch version.
There are people that liked that game, so good.
How excited would the three of us be if it was a Takedown remaster?
I would buy it at that price. For Takedown remaster? Yes.
How giddy would we be?
Even if it was a revenge.
Oh yeah,
I'd take that.
Also great.
Yeah.
Also great.
Yep.
Yes, indeed.
That would satisfy our frothing demand. Not
Mhm.
this Paradise mumbo jumbo.
This one includes all the DLC.
Oh,
and
well.
it's 4K 60 frames per second on PS4 Pro and Xbox One X. So that's pretty good. It's got all the Ks. I would imagine that's why we're paying $39.99.
Well, that's why you're paying. I'm not paying $39.99.
I'm not paying $39.99. As I said before, I'll play it on EA Access.
You're paying $79.98.
Yeah.
Because
you think I'm going to buy 2 copies of this?
There are clearly 2 distinct versions you need to pick up.
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna say no to that. Because this comes out right before Sea of Thieves, right after, or I think maybe the same day as Kirby Star Allies.
And we all know how responsible with your money you are.
And Far Cry 5 comes out like the next week.
How's that new TV working out for you that you don't need, but needed?
What do you mean?
Huh?
It's fantastic. I read it. I don't need it. It was a quality of life upgrade. Oh no, Stuart went
gripes. He just Stuart left the show as soon as you mentioned your TV was quality of life.
Just had to mute the screaming.
Oh yeah. Okay. So Nintendo is now allowing users to review and write reviews of eShop games.
Well, I can't see that going wrong.
Viewable on Nintendo.com. Yeah.
I expect to see nothing because it was like a star system,
star rating. Yep.
And do you get to write reviews?
You do. Yes.
Okay. So you get to enter text. You get
as
to
well as they also did the. You remember when the 3DS does this too? You can tag it with like family friendly or
right,
all that
stuff. Yeah. Right. Okay, so was it a 5-star? I'm assuming
5-star.
5-star. So
I mean a typical review.
Well, every review is either going to be 1 star or 5 stars. And the review will either be
perfect for the Switch.
Oh yeah,
perfect for the Switch, or it's going to be like 20 paragraphs long, where it's just a intense description of the storyline. Basically retelling you the plot of the game. I'm just thinking of GameFAQs reviews, the user reviews on GameFAQs.
So poorly spelled as well. Then,
well, of course,
undoubtedly,
yes, of course. These, I doubt these are being fed through some editor at Nintendo.
Probably some kind of language filter.
Yeah, I would imagine there's that. Yeah. But that should be interesting.
Well, the other thing is that it won't let you write a review until you have played the game for 2 hours.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so that's a nice little wrinkle on that.
Now, is this just for eShop games, or is it?
I would assume it's only for anything that you can actually buy on the store.
Well, yeah, it is.
Like
but if you go to the game info page on anything, it can be a retail release.
Okay, so like if I Metroid, the 3DS Metroid game. If I bought that digitally,
I don't know if it's.
I see what you're saying.
I don't know if it counts 3DS.
Oh, is it just Switch?
Just Switch.
Oh, it's just Switch. Okay. Well, then let's just say Mario Odyssey.
Okay.
If I bought Mario Odyssey digitally, can I then write a review on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe you can do that even if you played it just the physical version.
Oh, really?
I mean, probably.
Well, okay. Know that you've logged so many hours to it.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Log the hours.
How much do they pay per review?
About as much as any website does. $0.
It's for the exposure, Phil. It's
because I again, I'm used to being paid for my game reviews. So
don't lie.
I didn't say well.
When was the last time you wrote a video game review?
You know what? The last time I wrote a video game review was probably about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Back for Nintendo Power. It would have had to have been for Nintendo Power.
Yeah, what game was it? What was your last one?
Jeez, I should go look that up. I don't remember.
Huh.
I honestly do not remember. And I did write a couple articles for that SNES book that came out.
Which I hate. I can't ever remember the name of it.
It's what's on my shelf back here somewhere. I don't know.
You're gonna look back on your shelf.
I'm looking back on the shelf.
Omnibus.
Yeah. And you know what though? I did at work. Last week, I wrote a good old-fashioned video game preview.
Did you?
Yeah, like an old school video game preview. So it was weird.
Tiny Monsters Rejoice.
That's exact.
So was it super old school EGM style where you had to be positive?
No. No.
Okay.
Now, to be fair, full disclosure, I'm being paid by the outlet.
I was going to say, yeah. I think actually CJ was probably right.
Yeah. No, I slammed. It's really really, really hard hitting.
Something climbing back to the top of the yarn ball?
Yes, indeed.
I can see Phil's boss bringing the copy into his office like, you've got to stop writing this. It's not as funny as you think it is.
If I can slip it through and get it published on the site just once, I know 2 guys who are going to find it hilarious.
RPG fans rejoice.
Oh, man.
For a while, I had the URL fansrejoice.com, and I was planning on linking to everything that started with Fans Rejoice.
Why would you ever let that go?
I don't know, but I had that for a while.
That's amazing. That's outstanding.
Mm-hmm. Because it just comes up so often.
Well, obviously, it's a hackneyed preview cliche.
We outlawed it at EGM after a while.
We did.
I remember that. Yeah.
couldn't use it.
Couldn't say Rejoice.
Although GameFan continued using it for, however many issues they had left.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Speaking of GameFan, did you
Eric Malonis?
Yeah, did you hear about that?
Yeah, I don't know how he passed away a few weeks ago.
Yeah, ECM.
Huh. Yeah.
The second editor-in-chief of GameFan magazine died a couple weeks back.
And GameGo, right?
And GameGo, yeah, for the 2 issues, only one of which saw the light of day. Was it? Did it hit 3?
There's one that
no, the first one was printed after that released in PDF.
Yeah, Stretch Panic was on the first
cover,
which was the one that saw print.
Yeah.
And then there was 1 or 2 that was just PDF only.
Yeah, it was at least it was 1. I don't know if there were 2. And I know there was 1.
Yeah. But yeah, he I don't think it's been reported what happened, the cause was or anything like that.
But he was quite young. I mean, he's around our age, right?
Yeah.
Maybe even younger.
Yeah. So. Yeah, he died recently, which is it's a bad. I never knew the guy.
No, me neither.
So I never met him or anything, but obviously
Corey from My Life in Gaming reached out a couple days because he's big into the GameFan community.
Right.
Reached out and told me and informed me, and I was like, "Thank you for letting me know." But I don't think I ever met the guy face to face. I interacted with him over like email or something maybe once. But yeah.
My only interaction is he bashed me in GameFan.
I was gonna say he did not like CJ.
GameFan.
He did not like us.
He did not. No, he did not like EGM at all.
No,
he called me out specifically.
He called you out by name.
By name, yeah.
In the pages of GameFan magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Like he actually wasted editorial space.
He wasted a few characters
in his magazine to yell at Chris Johnston of EGM, who has the wrong opinion about Strider 2.
Strider 2.
It was Strider 2
for the PlayStation.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I gave it a bad review because it gave you unlimited continues.
Yeah. Well,
and I thought that was too generous. I mean, you could just roll through the game in like 45 minutes.
Yeah, we'll have some self-control.
Yeah.
That was what the argument was. Have some self-control. Like, don't hit start to continue.
It was a weird time where a magazine editor would think that it was worthwhile or okay to actually call out by name a reviewer at another publication.
Actually, if you
by the way, this guy sucks because
if you go further back, I mean, not necessarily by name, but if you go further back, EGM was actually really guilty of it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Magazines all the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just it. I mean, and
that
all
was
the magazines
pre-94 EGM.
Yeah. GamePro did it. EGM certainly did it. GameFan did it. But as far as I know, though, that was the only time someone actually called out someone by name. I mean, there was, like people would poke fun at, like GamePro or something would make fun of like Sushi X or something like that. Yeah. So not a real person, but I don't recall any other instance of like person X who works at rival publication.
That's right.
Is a Suxor's lamer.
Just their news editor. What does he know about video games anyway?
Yeah. I never met Dave Halverson either.
No, I haven't either.
Like, the only person from GameFan that I met was Kelly Ricards.
Mm-hmm. I remember going to an E3 thing. I don't know what it was. It might have been, I don't know which company's booth it was. We were in a booth though, and Dave showing up, and the only reason he had like the GameFan entourage with him.
Yeah.
The only reason I noticed him was because I actually knew somebody in that group. But I just remember Dave showing up in like leading a whole crew with the long curly mullet, and the he had a portable fan that he had on his face the whole time.
Oh, really?
Oh. So
I never met Halverson. Casey Lowe used to work at GameFan, right?
Yep. Yes.
Yeah, I've met Casey. And Casey's really a cool guy. Kelly Ricards, I've certainly met because he worked at EGM.
Right.
Mike Wygand, did you know Mike Wygand?
He didn't work at GameFan though. He worked at GamePro.
I thought it was.
He went from EGM to GamePro.
Sorry, he went to GamePro. Yeah, Major Mike.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
and I met Nick Rocks.
I've never met Nick Rocks.
I've never met him either, but I know a lot of people who have. He's apparently a really, really nice guy.
Nick DeBarnes?
Nick DeBar.
Nick DeBar is his real name. Nick Rocks in the magazine.
Apparently he's got hurt lately too. He's okay.
Oh, really?
Apparently he's recovering,
but
but
that's good.
Hurt himself really badly.
Oh, I met him at TGS. We were going on a little press junket to, I think, Bandai's headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
And he was there, and I was introduced to him, and
started fanboying out.
Well, no, he was, because he was.
Oh my God, it's Nick Rocks.
He was kind of a quiet guy, and I was introduced to him, and my initial reaction was just like, "Oh, holy crap, you're Nick Rocks!" And as soon as I said that, the color from his face just drained.
Really?
Because Phil pointed out at me, yelled, "Blue Shadows!"
Well, I think that's what he was expecting. Let's picked
count
up was
the parallax scrolls.
He was expecting me to just start making fun of him and stuff like that. But I told him, I was like, "Oh no, GameFan was outstanding. I read it all the time. I loved that magazine. I loved you guys and you and your enthusiasm and everything." And then once he realized that I wasn't just going to start yelling about Blue Shadows and crap to him, he warmed right up. And yeah, he was a super nice guy.
For anyone wondering what the context of that is, Nick
Blue Shadows.
Nick famously wrote a review where I believe he dinged the Saturn version of, was it Street Fighter Alpha 2?
I believe so, yeah.
Street Fighter Alpha 2, because the blue, when you did a power move in that game, the character would leave a trail of blue silhouettes for each frame. And his beef with the game, and Nick, super hardcore gamer.
Oh yeah.
His beef with the game was that the shade of blue was off.
I think the original arcade, they were transparent,
something like that,
and the Saturn version, because the Saturn wasn't that good with transparency, so it was just like solid blue or something. Yeah, it was some very minor little nitpick,
but that was kind of GameFan.
Right? That's exactly.
Yeah, this is the company that I think one month they gave Sonic CD like a perfect score, but then the soundtrack changed, which they didn't realize because they had reviewed the import version.
Right.
Soundtrack changed when it came to the US, and then they ripped it a new one in the following issue.
Just because of the music.
To be fair, the Japanese soundtrack for Sonic CD is infinitely better.
Sure, that is true.
But
the US.
Oh, you don't like Spencer Nilsson's amazing music?
Toot Toot Sonic Warrior, which I think the actual song title is Sonic You Can Do Anything. Is an
which, by the way, when
infinitely
you buy
superior.
When you buy the re-releases of Sonic CD with the Japanese soundtrack, you don't get that song.
No, you do not.
They don't have the rights to it.
No, which is a shame. But it's much better than the Sonic Boom theme song.
That theme song, the Japanese theme song is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's also insane.
Well, yeah, but I think it fits the tone of that intro. It is timed better to the animation, and it sets a more frantic pace mood for the game.
I like
opposed
the
to
American
soundtrack.
You know, another GameFan secret.
Sonic Boom, try not to fall asleep now.
Another GameFan secret.
What's that?
Before they started the magazine, you know, they advertised in EGM.
Yep.
Of course. And Quarterman got a lot of rumors from Dave Halverson.
Is that right?
Me.
Yeah, he basically used to like feed Quarterman.
Was this when you were?
I was not working there at the time.
Okay, you weren't Quarterman at this point.
No, I was not Quarterman. But
who was Quarterman? Do you remember?
Steve Harris.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dave Halverson was, I'm assuming, knowingly feeding Quarterman this information. Like, it wasn't just like, I'm just talking to Steve, and Steve would just kind of take the stuff with it. Okay.
Yeah. Let's be honest, most of the stuff in Quarterman, people knowingly gave it to you, right? Like, they knew it was going to be published in Quarterman.
The stuff that wasn't just made up.
The stuff that you just didn't, anything you just didn't make up.
Sometimes I put in things in there that I wanted to happen.
Exactly.
And they actually did. Like,
you did.
Ninja Gaiden, the new Ninja Gaiden.
I feel like what we got and what you were hoping for were probably two different things.
Probably, yeah. What was there was some kind of thing. Did we put the Mylon Secret Castle thing in Quarterman? I forget.
What? Probably.
There's a whole thing about I don't know. Someone's gonna have to look it up. I don't remember.
Okay, I don't try to remember that.
It out. But anyway, let's talk about Final Fantasy 15, because on the PC side of things, it's getting some Half-Life content.
What?
That's right.
What is that?
It's getting like costumes
Half-Life
and
was a game by
cosmetics.
Valve. Wait, the Steam people?
Yeah.
Yeah, back when they made games.
They don't. No, they make like hats to purchase in games. They don't make
that.
Yeah.
For that, they make games.
They did, and one of those games was
Taking your word for it.
Now you can get a skin of for your characters of Gordon Freeman's outfit.
Oh, really?
In Final Fantasy 15.
That's cute.
Yeah.
There you go.
I know nothing about Final Fantasy 15, so
me neither. I have no interest.
Is that the one where the dudes are driving around in the car?
I think so.
Like a boy band.
Yeah.
When they demoed it at E3, it did not demo well. Like they showed off a battle, and it was just like I don't even know what's going on.
I finally accepted. I think we talked about this in the show before, but I finally accepted that series has just left me behind. That series is just, it hasn't been for me for 15 years now. Like, and it used to be one of my favorite series right up until 10. I loved 10. Then 11, I sort of give it a pass because, I didn't realize at the time I wasn't into MMOs. 11 kind of helped me realize I wasn't into MMOs.
11 was.
Then 12, I just did not give a shit about.
Nope.
And I just haven't been there since. But man, before that, the 10 games before that, sign me up. Loved it.
Yep.
Indeed.
Very nice.
Anyway, if you want to have Life skin, I guess Valve doesn't make games anymore, but they license their stuff out.
Okay.
The Portal Bridge Constructor thing that comes out on Switch this week. Yeah. I would accept a remaster of Portal and Portal 2 if they want to re-release that on Switch. Or
we're not
Xbox
turning this into what I wish was on Switch.
PS4.
Stop it.
No, they can do it for any system, any machine. I'll take it. I'll buy it.
I would love a Portal 3 though. Oh my god,
Portal 3 would be good.
Portal 3 would be nice. Maybe if we're lucky, we can get Chell skin for Final Fantasy 15.
There you go.
That'll be that's your That's as close to Portal 3 as you were ever gonna get.
Wow. Well, I see on our outline here, there's another news story.
Yes.
It says Phil sells off a ton of his video game collection.
So is that what you were doing in Portland?
That's exactly what I was doing in Portland. Huh. I sold them all to Bill Mudrun, actually. Bill traded me all of my game collection just for a chance to help him build that Millennium Falcon.
There you go.
Yeah. So there you go.
That's not true. That's not true.
No. I sold off a ton of stuff like yesterday and today.
Like how much is a ton?
Why for?
Quantify a ton.
Well, okay. So I borrowed some money from some people I probably should not have borrowed some money from.
Yeah. Well, you were new in town.
It's how it all starts.
Yeah.
Remember when we were in Vegas for
so this bar doesn't look like a bank?
Remember when I went off on my own when we were at Scoop Fest and I was gone for a few hours?
I thought you were going to White Castle.
I thought you were just the crazy horse too.
And I came back and there was all that blood and I was like, oh, I don't know how that got there, and I'll tell you guys about it later. Right? No. So I have a ton of crap. As you guys know. I have a ton of games. I've been collecting games for what, 20, 25 years.
Give us a number. Throw a number out there.
I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. Okay. I don't.
For what it's worth, because I think you've been more hardcore collector than me, and my collection is up around, I think, 3,000.
Yeah, I mean, well, consider that I had over.
So I'm assuming you've got to have a similar number.
I had over 700 games just on the NES.
Right.
So there's a lot. I mean,
so how did you transport these games to the place where you sold them? In your car? Did you have one car load, two car loads?
Two car loads. Two car loads.
Wow. 2 car loads.
One car load yesterday, one car load today.
Wow.
What prompted this was, well, I moved up to Seattle about 8 months ago, and haven't fully unpacked yet. Still got cardboard boxes sitting around our place.
Back up a little further than that, though.
Backing up.
Before you moved,
right,
a large chunk of your collection was in a storage unit, was it not?
It was in a storage unit, yes.
I think that's important to know.
Yes. Yeah. So I had a bunch of stuff in storage, and I had it back in when I lived in Illinois. Moved it out to California, got moved again up to Seattle. My video game collection has been all around this beautiful land of ours.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just picking up and sorting some stuff and doing some light unpacking the other day, and was just like, it just finally hit me.
Yeah.
That I have way too much crap, and I need to get rid of
all this.
And I need to get rid of some of it. I need to get rid of a lot of it.
I love what CJ's sitting in front of while we're having this conversation.
I know, right?
Don't pay attention to anything behind me.
Way too much crap, and she's just like, "Yeah, I know, man. I get it.
I'm right there with you."
Next week, there's
like
gonna be
4 tons of shit in the.
next week, there's gonna be just like a bed sheet hanging behind CJ, so we can't see his room.
Like one of my windows.
Yeah.
A shame curtain to hide his collection. But so I decided that I was gonna sell a bunch of the stuff, and I didn't want to deal with eBay just because I have so much crap.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And it would. I mean, I've sold stuff on eBay, and I've sold relatively large quantities of stuff on eBay, and it's like a full-time job to do that.
Yeah.
Between taking the pictures and getting things sorted and boxed and putting the auctions up, it really is like a full-time job to do that. And then even afterwards, you're running the risk of a buyer
saying that it doesn't work when it gets there.
Yeah, and it's so easy for the buyers to screw you over on eBay now.
That's true.
And then of course, you're dealing with all the huge fees from eBay and from PayPal. So you're getting the fees both times. And there is in Seattle, there is a video game store called Pink Gorilla, formerly Pink Godzilla, before they got wise and
by Toho.
Exactly. I think they may have actually gotten a friendly letter saying you should probably change your store name. But they have a couple locations in Seattle, and I was actually introduced to one of the owners at PAX, Jared Thorbon.
Jared's an owner?
No. Jared's not one of the owners.
Through him,
no. He introduced me. He's friends with the owners of Pink Gorilla, and introduced me to one of the owners at PAX. So I knew her, and I reached out to her on Twitter the other day and just kind of gave her a heads up that, hey, I'm thinking of selling off a lot of my stuff, and I have a lot of stuff. Is it going to be cool if I bring in several hundred games? And and like you said, CJ, some of them is some pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, that's no problem. It's actually good timing because there's a big comic convention in Seattle next weekend that they
need stuff for.
Yeah, sure. That they're gonna be at. So it's like, yeah, any cool stuff you want to bring it in.
So any listeners that want to buy your stuff, go to the Emerald City convention.
Yeah, or if you live in Seattle, if you head over to the University District, Pink Gorilla, that's where I dumped off all my stuff. So go buy my crap.
Run, don't walk.
So what systems are we talking about?
Okay, so I had a bunch of boxes in my living room full of games.
Mm-hmm.
And I started going through them, and I started making two piles: the games I want to keep and the games I want to sell. And
did you go through the games I want to keep pile twice? And
yes.
Do a double filter?
I did, actually.
Okay.
I did. And just about everything. I kept all my TurboGrafx games just because I have a special place in my heart for the TurboGrafx. But a bunch of Dreamcast games, 3DS games, NES games, PSP, some 32X, just a mishmash, a hodgepodge.
It's a nice box 32X stuff.
I
wish I'd known about.
Oh, really?
But yeah. I would have liked a couple of them, but it's not a big deal.
Right.
I'm in the middle of doing what you're doing too, so keep going.
Yeah, exactly. So I separated the stuff into piles. I sell and keep piles. Loaded everything into cardboard boxes. Took a big Sharpie and wrote "sell" right across the tops of the sell boxes.
So you couldn't change your mind.
So I couldn't change. Well, so I made sure to put the proper box in storage.
Well,
so then I drive over to the storage unit. I put the couple keep boxes in storage. Because that's all my NES games were in there. So I loaded up as many NES games as I could into my car.
Mm-hmm.
Drove over to Pink Gorilla, dumped the stuff off, and then was just, okay, I'm on my way. And I'll be back with some more NES games maybe tomorrow / today. So I go home and I'm just hanging out, and I'm on Twitter last night, and I'm looking, and Pink Gorilla, they will occasionally, if they get really cool stuff traded in, they'll post pictures on their Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And they posted some pictures. They were like, oh, we got some fantastic trades in yesterday. Here's some pictures. They posted a bunch of pictures of my DS games, and I'm just like, oh, look at that, it's my DS games. And then it's like, oh, look, there's some of my my Dreamcast games. And then the third picture is a bunch of GBA games. I'm just like, well, I didn't trade any GBA games, so someone must have traded in a bunch of GBA games. And I'm looking at this picture.
Oh, God.
And I'm thinking, someone traded in an awful lot of GBA games.
They were at the bottom of your cell box.
That are my collection of GBA
you
games.
idiots.
Oh, no.
And it's the ones I was going to keep.
Oh, you moron.
Because look, there's all my...
There's some good stuff there.
There's my Mega Man games and my Pokemon
games. I saw that picture.
And, my Zelda games. And, oh, shit. I put my keep pile of GBA games in the wrong box, didn't I?
So we got some... we got Space Channel 5.
Ninja 5-0.
All of the Mega Man
Ninja 5.
networks. Yeah.
Ninja 5-0.
Yeah, Ninja 5.0, all the Zeldas.
Ninja 5.0.
All the NES stuff is there.
Ninja 5.0.
Yeah.
Metroid, Castlevania.
Let me impart how rare and expensive Ninja 5.0 is.
So you literally went there with a box.
Yeah.
You left the box there and didn't like watch them take your stuff out and catalog it or anything like that.
No, well, because it's going to take them days to catalog all this.
Is that YY Racing?
That is YY Racing. Wait, I see the Crazy Racers.
Is that what that is?
Yeah,
that's Crazy
Racers.
Racers.
Konami Crazy Racers. It's the English version.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But
Ninja 5.0 is worth a lot of money.
It is. Well, and to be fair, I got a healthy amount of money for this stuff.
Which I'm not going to ask.
Well, sure.
Yeah, and they and actually
it's not on air.
So Phil, when you buying a 4K television?
Yeah.
I may have stopped on the way home.
Man.
No, I'm not buying a 4K TV. But so what happened was I saw my games I didn't want to sell up online as having been traded in. And
did you call the store?
Well, okay. Here's the thing.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
Oh God.
Because I saw it and there was an initial rush of panic.
Uh-huh.
And then I was the first thought was I gotta call the store. I gotta get a hold of the owner and tell them what's up. And then that thought lasted about a second. And then I just kind of had this realization. Do I have to call them?
Have you played any of those games in the last 5-10 years?
That's what I started thinking. It's like, okay. So
Virtual Console with GBA too, you can get most of the good games.
And I'm thinking it's just like, okay, I've been again hauling these games around.
Yep.
Through 3 different states over the course of 15-20 years.
2 different countries here.
Yeah. What am I doing with these? Konami Crazy Racers for GBA is an excellent kart racing game.
Sure.
It's better. I think it's better than the GBA Mario Kart.
I agree with that.
Will I ever play it again?
Well, not anymore.
Well,
yeah. No, but Phil, you're right.
But I wouldn't. Yeah. I wouldn't. The Castlevania GBA games are outstanding.
Will you ever play them again?
No. And I realized, and it just kind of hit me that where I'm hanging on to these games just to say that I'm hanging on to these games.
Yeah.
There is no reason for me to have this stuff. And it was just kind of this moment of enlightenment and the sudden burden off my shoulders where I could just say, you know what? I have it. They cut me a check for part of my collection. They said that they're going to end up having to cut me like probably 2 or 3 checks as they.
Yeah. Cause you don't want to put them out of business.
Yeah. It's just a matter of, because, and again, they're super nice. The Pink Gorilla people are fantastic because they're giving me really good money for this stuff. And they're they warned me just because we're preparing for the con and we're packing our stuff up to take to the convention. It's going to take us a few days, if not like a week, to go through and catalog all your games and get the prices for them and everything. And they even told me, they were like, well, we'll cut you a check now. And we can cut you a check in a couple of days when we go through like half of your NES collection. And then we can cut you another check later on for the second half of it.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's super cool. I am happy to do that. I trust them. But yeah, it was just like this sort of load taken off my shoulders. And then I eventually did, because, I had been storing my GBA games separately from their boxes.
I was going to say there are no boxes there, and I'm shocked about that.
Well, all the boxes were in a separate cardboard box in storage.
Okay.
Because I didn't want the boxes to get damaged on shelves. So I actually contacted one of the owners and said, "Hey, look,
I have all the boxes."
Well, I was honest with them. I was like, "Look, here's what happened. I did not intend to trade all those games in. But now that I have, I'm actually kind of glad that they're gone. But I do have all the boxes for them. And obviously you'll be able to sell them for much more with the boxes and instructions, and they're all minty fresh. And yeah, and the owner, she was just like, oh yeah, bring them in. I will pay you much more money for the games.
For the games plus boxes.
Plus boxes. And yeah, obviously we want them. So I went back to my storage unit today, dug out all the boxes, got the rest of my NES collection, and hauled it over to the store, and boom, it's gone.
So how many games all told
that I got rid of?
Yeah.
Probably
hundreds,
certainly.
Really? Like
perhaps thousands?
Like 200, 300?
600.
Holy Jesus.
My NES collection, dude.
Oh, the whole thing. But you kept some of it.
Okay, so a few months back, I did sell some of my higher ticket.
I remember that
games on eBay. So some of those are gone.
Which, by the way, we were bitching about eBay, but just like I'm right there with you, because I'm in the middle of trying to get rid of some things too. But there are a few particular things that I want to try to sell online. I'm trying to do it outside of eBay first,
right?
Which is what I did with most of my TurboGrafx stuff, and I got prices I was happy with. They were lower than what I could have gotten on eBay.
Right.
I was selling them to people I knew at slightly discounted prices, but I know, they're going to get enjoyment out of them. They're going to play them, or they're filling out their collections, which is great.
Yeah.
And I'm not paying extra fees, and I don't feel like it's sort of a burden to do it. But otherwise, I've been getting into the situation where when I have more like common stuff, I just put it together in a lot and put it on local selling. Because I'm not lucky enough to have stores like that around here.
Right.
So, I realize I'm not getting what they're worth, but whatever. Like I just dumped 10 sort of common NES games tonight for $60.
Well, there you go. Not bad.
So,
not bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my NES collection, which again was like maybe 730 games, minus whatever I'd sold on eBay a couple months ago. Minus I kept games that I kept the Mega Man NES games, the Marios, games that had sentimental value.
That's what I've done too.
I kept my copy of DuckTales just because I got that for Christmas, so that one has
anticipation
attached to it. I still have my sealed copy of Anticipation that was gifted to me by listeners of Player One Podcast.
All right.
I kept my Blaster Master, of course.
Naturally.
Tying into Anticipation. I did pull out my copy. I did not trade in my copy of Little Samson.
I saw the picture that you posted.
Yes, I am planning to sell that on eBay at some point.
Yeah, that's worthwhile.
Just because that's like a $1,200 game. So
yeah.
But so I hauled in though the rest of my NES collection is gone. I purged. I did the same thing. I didn't have nearly as many Super Nintendo games. I had maybe 100 Super Nintendo games. I kept a couple important ones to me, but dumped the rest. And
now also with emulation, right? You can.
Well, that's just it. I mean, just to go along with what you're saying now, Phil, I haven't quite gotten where you are. I went through my NES collection, which is only about 80 games. I pulled out about 50.
Yeah,
that I'm trying to sell. So, and I'm kind of like you. Like I have all 6 Mega Mans,
right?
The 3 Marios, the 2 Zeldas. I'm hanging on to. I have 3 of the Dragon Warriors.
Okay.
Well, stuff that I'm. Some of it's stuff that's worth something. Some of it's stuff that I just want to keep, like the 3 Ninja Gaidens. Like some of them just mean things to me. But otherwise, I gotta never drive.
Oh, look at you.
Anything else I actually want to play. Plus, I also have that NES Classic, which is everything on it anyway. So if I ever want to play that stuff, I'm past worrying about whether or not it's on a cartridge anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. Like I'm looking at that stuff that I got. Like I said, I dumped 10 games tonight. I can't remember the last time I played most of them.
Yeah.
And I play retro games pretty frequently. But,
especially you with the streaming and all that. But and it's really weird. Just kind of getting into this sort of mental headspace that I have been in for 20 plus years.
Sure.
As someone who just collected games and had this big collection for no other reason than to just be able to say I have this big
collection.
Right.
But
now, how are you with your DVDs and Blu-rays and your other collections?
I did, and that's one step at a time. One at a time. Now, I actually did do a pretty when I moved here, I did do a pretty big purge of DVDs and Blu-rays, and I could stand to do a more fine-tooth one.
You have an impressive collection of Blu-rays and DVDs.
Yeah. I hauled a bunch of stuff over to like Half-Price Books and just dumped it there.
Yeah.
Just dumped it off there and got, a few $100 or whatever I got for it. But, yeah, I mean, it's really weird to as again, especially having that sort of, games that I wanted to keep sort of accidentally just due to my own incompetence being taken away, and not taken away. I was fairly compensated for them.
Sure.
So it's it's not like I just dumped them for nothing, but just again, because I've been in that collector's mindset for so long, I was, when I first realized it, I was a little panicked, and then kind of like, no, this is probably a good thing. This is probably a good thing. And the fact that I'm having to debate and repeatedly tell myself that it's a good thing means it probably really is a good thing. Because I need to, because I'm so kind of attached to this crap that's just taking up room in a storage unit somewhere. And I woke up this morning and at the risk of making myself sound even more pathetic than I already
not possible.
sound, well, I woke up this morning with this kind of twisted knot in my stomach. This like, holy crap, my games are gone.
Oh my God, was Finn in one of those boxes?
Yeah, really. But and this is gonna sound like really tacky and tasteless. And again, like, shut up, dude. You're an idiot. But it felt like mourning. Like the loss that you feel when you're mourning something. Just because I had been so trapped in that mindset for so long that I was just like, oh my God, this is real. This is, that stuff is gone and it's not coming back.
Right.
And I realize how goofy that sounds comparing it to, like, the death of someone, but that's the mindset I was trapped in for so long.
Sure.
I think that yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get there myself, but I still have a collector's mentality. But I think now, and I mean, this is an industry that I love. It's a hobby that I love. It's how I make my living.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've gotten to the point now too where it's not about volume anymore.
Right.
Because there's too much.
Yeah.
Way too much.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm getting rid of, I'm planning on, and I'm doing this slowly because I just don't have the time otherwise, because kind of like what you're saying, cataloging it, bundling it, putting it together, getting it posted, it's time consuming.
Oh, it's way time consuming.
But I want to focus on a few different things, and that's it.
Right.
I'd like to get my collection down. I doubt I'll ever get it lower than being in the hundreds, to be honest.
Right.
But I know I can purge at least 80% of what I've got.
Yeah.
So I could probably do the same too. Although with my Super Nintendo and Genesis and NES collections, I basically just have the games that I had when I was a kid. I never really went back and started buying up Genesis games or Super Nintendo games or anything like that.
I mean, like I said, I kept, with my NES collection, I didn't keep all the games I had when I was a kid.
Right.
I don't necessarily need that copy of Platoon for NES.
No one ever needed that copy
that I
of Platoon.
got back in the day. When I got that when I was in junior high. But my copy of Blaster Master, because that's it's kind of a big important game for me. I kept that. So
sure.
But I'll say this, having woken up with that kind of knotted stomach, but then just getting up and going over to the storage unit and digging up all those boxes, digging up the rest of my collection and taking it there and just dropping it off. I'm suddenly much more comfortable with it. So I'm actually pretty pleased with myself that I got rid of all this junk. So
good for you, Philip.
So I'm pretty pleased. I'm pretty proud of myself. I'm excited. Yeah, it turns out the kid was in one of the boxes, but they spotted him before.
We can only offer you $20 for this.
Yeah,
because we have to make a profit.
And you know what? I'll say this too. Just another feather in the cap of the good folks at Pink Gorilla. When I had told one of the owners what had happened, she was super cool. She was just like, "Oh my god, I don't think we've sold any of them yet. We can, you can give us back some of the money and we can get you your games and it won't be a problem at all." Like, she was super cool about it, like wanting to help me get my games back. And I was just like, you know what? No, I don't. When I went there today, I did grab a couple. There was like I got the couple Goemon games.
I think I saw a picture of a Goemon game. I don't understand Phil giving that one up.
Yeah, but there were a couple Goemon GBA games that I was like, okay, I'm going to keep the Goemon games just because that is
sure.
But even like the Mega Man nerd that I am, like all the Battle Network Mega Man games, I was like, you know what?
You're never going to play those again.
I'm never going to play. And you know what? It's
if you played much of them the first time around.
Yeah, I mean, I played a couple of them, but yeah. So I was just like, you know what? Keep the Mega Man games. Give me the couple Goemon games, just cause. Give me the Mr. Driller game, just cause.
Yeah,
but yeah, everything else is gone, and I'm pretty pleased about it.
Nice. Well, I think now then you can say that Konami Wacky Racers is perfect for Switch when that comes back.
Right? I would love to see Konami Crazy Racers on Switch. You know what? As great as it was on the GBA,
Crazy with a K.
Yeah,
right.
It's even more well suited for the Switch, as all games are. Let's face it.
Indeed.
So,
should we talk about what we've been playing?
I sold my games as a protest that all games should be available on the Switch. That whole elaborate story was just a facade.
No, actually, what you were doing is you were selling all of your, priced games. You're only doing games that have microtransactions in them now.
That's exactly it.
Phil sold all his services.
I'm like the Mirror Universe Ethan Einhorn, where
you're only all about free play.
I'm only interested in games as a service now.
Yeah.
So yeah. I also picked up a Switch for every room in the house.
You got to. Yeah.
Took that trade-in money and bought, there's a Switch in Finn's bathroom. There's a Switch in our bathroom.
Oh.
There's no...
Your kid's got his own bathroom. Oh, Mr. Fancy Pants.
That's right. That's right. And I'll tell you this. I don't care how much and how often you clean a 5-year-old boy's bathroom, you cannot stop it from smelling like pee.
That's why I just never clean our bathroom at all.
Because
it always smells like pee.
5-year-old boys don't have the control over their extremities that adult males hopefully have.
I don't know. Have you been in a public men's room lately?
Yeah, that's
most adult males don't seem to have that control.
Yeah.
It is disgusting. Yeah. Oh my god.
So there we go.
Well, all right. That was a ripping yarn there.
Thank you. And I hope you climbed up to the top of the ball of it.
I did.
Good.
Should we talk about what we've been playing?
Yes.
Sure.
Let's do that. Greg.
Hi.
You probably have an update for us too, because your Switch was on its way back to you.
My Switch is back.
Yeah.
Yes. My Switch. It's so my Switch came. I wish I don't have the letter in front of me, which kind of sucks. Actually, that might be it right there. Just hang on 1 second.
Uh-oh. We got to do something to entertain the folks while he's looking.
Hold on.
No, it is not. That was not a. That was not the letter.
After all that build-up.
Anyway,
we had a huge build-up, Greg.
Switch came back. Works just fine.
Yay.
Came back with a letter
intact.
Pardon me. Saves are intact.
Oh,
weird.
Oh, really?
All the installed files are not, and like the games were all still listed on the system, but when you went to play anything, it said the files for this game or this game itself is not on the system. It needs to be downloaded, but all the save files are there.
Huh.
So I don't know what happened, how that works exactly, but anyway, yeah, came back with a letter that said your Switch, some of the circuitry had been destroyed or damaged due to liquid, whatever infestation, let's call it. And normally we would not fix this, but we fixed it and basically said if it happens again, we're gonna have to charge you.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So whatever.
Well, nice
it works. Yeah, that was nice of them. And they clearly put. I noticed too that the kickstand's been upgraded.
Oh, nice.
And really, what they did is they put a whole new back case or covering on it because there was a small crack in the case when I had sent it, and that's gone. So
was that the one the crack that a lot of people have by the power button?
Yes,
the top. A lot of.
I did not know that was a common thing.
Yeah,
interesting.
So yeah, so it's back and it works. So I've been playing some pinball. What's it called?
FX3.
FX3.
Yeah. The Jurassic Park tables are out.
Yes.
Heck yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're really. I'm not going to say they're all really good. I think there's 3 of them. The middle one though, the actual Jurassic Park. Because there's a Jurassic World, Jurassic Park, and then there's another.
I think
Jurassic Park.
I think aren't 2 of them themed by about Jurassic World, and just one of them is Jurassic Park.
One of them is Jurassic World.
Okay, the other 2 are just Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
that's right.
And the second table is sort of the main. It feels like the main sort of Jurassic Park table. I really like it a lot.
Yeah,
I'm terrible at pinball, but I
think we all are here.
Yeah, yes. I mean, I think most people that our generation adore the original Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's such a great movie, and it's a really good table.
Cool. Yeah, I like both the Jurassic World and the regular Jurassic Park table. They have sound clips from the movie, which
although I think some of them are sound-alikes.
I don't know if they're all sound-alikes though.
I don't think they're all sound-alikes, but some of them are.
I think the Jurassic World table, for some reason, uses a lot of lines from like Parks and Rec. Which is you shoot a ramp and you hear Chris Pratt complimenting Leslie.
I've never seen Parks and Rec.
Oh, what? Really?
No, I've never watched it.
Oh man,
it's quite good.
It's on Netflix. You got to watch it.
The only Chris Pratt I've ever known is Guardians of the Galaxy / Jurassic World Chris Pratt.
Here's what you got to do.
/ the Lego Movie.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I couldn't see him in that movie.
Here's what you got to do, Greg. Season 2 of Parks and Rec. Start there.
Why?
And then
really? Season 1?
Don't start with season 1.
Season
watch
1.
Season 1 later.
Season 1 is very short. I think it's only like 6 or 8 episodes, maybe.
Yes.
And they did not know the tone that they were going for. It's very clearly trying to be like The Office.
Yes.
Like the US version of The Office. And they do not have a handle on Amy Poehler's character, Leslie Knope. She is almost a completely different character. The show is a lot.
First season of the US version of The Office too.
The show is a lot meaner in that first season. It's a more kind of negative toned show.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Oh no, it's a meaner,
but
sense
definitely
of humor.
Start with season 2.
Okay,
yeah, season 1 is it's awful, and it's not very funny.
Back to pinball.
Yeah, no, let's talk about Parks and Rec.
By the way, super thanks to Zen Studios for providing us codes.
Yeah, that's true.
Tables, that was awful nice.
But I really liked, like I say, so my favorite table of those 3 is the second one, the Jurassic Park one.
Yes,
really liked things like you can get the actual Jeep to come across the top of the table, and then the T-Rex will attack it, and you get to sort of choose what the table layout's going to be at that point using the flippers. And
really?
Yeah, you get to choose Malcolm's path or Grant's path.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a really well done table. I really enjoy it a lot.
Is Malcolm's path just him lying shirtless on a table the whole time?
You know what? I have not actually ever done Malcolm's path. I've played it like 4 times, and for some reason I always forget to choose his path.
Yeah.
So I'll have to do that. But like when you're in Grant's path, then it goes down this whole. You hear a lot of the VO like talking to Tim about how you climb a tree and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Nice.
Yes.
And then I jumped back into Zelda, which was what I was playing on my Switch before my daughter doused it in hot chocolate.
Oh, is that really what happened?
That's really what happened.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Now, did you find out that detail after Nintendo?
No, God, no. I was there when it happened. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope nobody from Nintendo listens to this. Nobody who knows anybody who works at Nintendo.
Well, certainly no one from the warranty service department listens.
To be fair, we all know people who work at Nintendo.
Yeah, I know.
We do. And they probably listen.
But not Nintendo of Canada.
Oh, well, that's true.
That's true. I don't know.
Anyway,
I don't
so
know
there's a Nintendo of Canada?
Yeah.
There is.
Vancouver. Dude, Nintendo of America started in Vancouver.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know
wrap your head around that.
I didn't know that one.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't called Nintendo of America at the time, but that's
well,
where...
to be fair, Vancouver is in America.
North America, yeah.
Technically.
Okay. Yeah. North America's a thing.
In the Americas. Anyway, so the DLC, because I just bought it right before the system was fried. And so I've found almost all the EX gear now. But there's one helmet that is guarded by in the Coliseum, guarded by a Lionel, which I am not excited about fighting again. So I'm not getting that piece of gear. And I started the master trial or whatever they're called now. So I'm sort of I don't know if I'm halfway, but I'm deep into the beginner trials now. Which I'm not crazy about, but I've heard is worth doing at least a little bit because it does make the Master Sword more powerful.
Right.
But
and then there's the other DLC. The
I'm doing the Master Trials first,
story,
and then I'm gonna dive into that.
Okay.
So yeah, that's really the main thing I've been playing this week. Otherwise playing Formula 1, but you guys don't want to hear about that, so
no.
Cool. Phil.
Yeah.
What do you got for us?
Well, not any NES games.
Dun dun dun. Well, Little Samson.
I do have Little Samson still, so
yeah.
If you guys want to play Little Samson tonight, come on over. We'll stay up and play. I was playing some Pinball FX3.
Yeah.
As well, and actually, who makes that? Zen Studios?
Zen Studios.
Yep. Zen Studios, yeah. The Zen Studios folks should be very happy. They did provide us with code for the Jurassic Park tables.
Yep.
But I broke down and bought all the rest of the tables for that thing.
Dang.
So, yeah. Because
I am really interested in the Portal table, but I haven't bought it yet.
I like the Pinball FX series, and it's perfectly suited for the Switch. But yeah, I broke down and picked up all the tables. So yeah, I got the Aliens ones and the Portal ones, and they don't have the Marvel or Star Wars tables available on Switch yet, which hopefully those will show up at some point. They did have the Family Guy table.
They do.
If you want to play that Family Guy table. And I know you do.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But Greg just
that's for you guys for later.
I can't watch that now.
It's a YouTube video.
Hey, we put it in the show notes.
Okay. Greg is sending us links to pornographs.
Yep.
While we record in order to distract us.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
not gonna work.
Family Guy, I got to do something.
What do you got here? I was playing a little. Actually, played a little bit more Bayonetta, which continues to be a great game. I played a little bit more Dragon Quest Builders.
Yeah.
Continues to be a fun little game. And yeah, I was playing. I think I mentioned this last week. I've been playing Dragon Quest Builders during the daytime when my kid's around.
Yeah.
And then after hours is when I bust out the Bayonetta. I did play a little Bayonetta today in portable mode while Finn was just kind of hanging out. And he got bored and wandered over and wanted to see what I was playing. And yeah, he was watching me kill some angels. And he was just like, "Oh, what's this game?" And, "Oh, it's Bayonetta." "Oh, what are you doing it?" "Oh, you just kill these monsters and stuff like that." He's like, "Oh, can I watch you play? Can you go play this on the TV?" And I say, "Well, no, I don't want to, this isn't, it's got some stuff that's inappropriate for kids."
When you're older.
Yeah. And he goes straight to, "Well, what's inappropriate?" And I was like, what's inappropriate about it? And I was like, well, it's got some language. It's got some kind of naughty language in the game.
Did he pull out all the naughty words that he knows?
Well, no, then he just gets like
down the list.
He kind of gets this sly little look on his face. He's like, "What naughty words? Which ones?" As if to imply, I'll be the judge of how naughty the words are. Yeah. And I was like, "Well, I'm not going to tell you." And you can just whisper them to me. Just whisper. Just like,
God, not to derail your story, but I had a conversation similar to this with my son this morning.
Yeah.
My newly 9-year-old son.
Hey, happy birthday.
Yeah, and my 10-year-old daughter were in the car today, and I was driving them home from somewhere, and She Bop came on the radio.
Oh, yeah.
Cyndi Lauper's She Bop.
What's that song about?
My son pipes up and he goes, "Daddy, what's this song about?" Which is not necessarily an odd question, because that's one of the conversations we always have when we're in the car, because I always have the radio playing, and and the kids will constantly, I think it's really cool. They actually listen to the lyrics a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And ask, what does that mean? Like, what are they, because they realize that it's a lot of symbolism, and what they're saying isn't actually what they mean, and that sort of thing.
Daddy, what's down with OPP?
Right. So anyway, he asks me, and I was like, it's about something that I'm not going to talk to you about right now. Right. And he goes, "Why?" And I said, "Well, because it's not really an appropriate conversation for us to have at this moment." And
then you threw it into vinyl CD.
He says, yeah. And then he says, "Well, I think I think I might," what do you say? He says, "I have an idea about what she might be talking about." I said, "Oh yeah, what do you think it is?" And he had a huge grin on his face. He goes, "It's something that I'm not comfortable talking to you about." And that's how we talked about masturbation. That was the end.
Why, Daddy? It's about flicking the bean.
So anyway, I just thought it was really, it was a weird, awkward, cute conversation that now I'm going to have to follow up with him on, obviously.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I was finally able to convince my kid that I was not going to just start swearing for him.
Right.
So
you should have made him list off all the naughty words that he knows.
That would have been great.
I know.
And you should have recorded it.
He definitely
for the soundboard.
And he's probably like outside the room right now, so I don't want to start getting like
let
me tell you what Finn knows. He does know the F-bomb.
Yeah,
he knows.
My old dad throws around the F-bomb sometimes with their friends.
Yeah,
I've heard.
He slipped and said that.
Really,
in front of me once. Well, it was
no Finn on a cinnamon toast crunch, mother.
No, well, you know what it was? And parent of the year, Phil, let him use my iPhone to watch YouTube.
Oh, mistake.
Why would you do that?
Big mistake.
Because I figure he wanted to watch like a Pokemon video, harmless Pokemon video.
You can't trust.
No, but
you can't trust gameplay videos. You can't.
Well, what it was so like the related videos popped up.
Exactly. That's why.
And they all look official.
Well, there was one. It's like some crappy Flash animation that someone did, and it's this is going to be funny because it's like Ash and Pikachu, but Pikachu gets beat up real bad and he's all bloody and his eyeballs hanging out, and then they start swearing and stuff like that. And yeah, so Finn had apparently watched one of those, and
this is why you can't trust your kids with
he gives me, well, no, I know that now. But he came up to me and he gave me my phone back, and he's like, Daddy, what's a fucking Pikachu? And I looked at him, and this was, I mean, he was probably like 3 when this happened. This was some time ago, maybe 4, but this was not recent. And I said, well, what did you just say to me? and he was just like, and he could tell that it was something
word he wasn't supposed to use.
Right.
And he didn't want to say it again. And I was like, okay, well, where
he's
did
like,
you hear?
sorry, a fucking Pikachu.
And I asked him where he heard it, and he said he saw a video that he, like didn't mean to click or whatever. And
sure,
and I had well, there are some words that are, maybe inappropriate to say at certain times, and that's don't go around that in your classroom saying that particular word. So he has not said it since, but he knows it. He knows it.
Sure,
and it's in there. And
I mean, I think it's one of those things, though.
Yeah.
If you're watching any YouTube videos or any streamer, or even listening to any podcast, you in front of your kids, you can't.
Well, that's just it.
You have to know which podcast is likely to say the F-bomb.
Yeah.
And not play that in the car.
Yeah. And
well, but you can't really avoid it either. I mean, it's much better to just sort of have like that conversation. Phil just says, like, there's just some words that you don't use in polite conversation, and
that's right.
It's just, yeah.
And but
or in job interviews when he's doing that.
Like I have there have been times where he's been interested in watching a movie or playing a game or something, and I would tell him, "Oh, it's inappropriate for your age," and he's like, "Why is there naughty language?" And I was like, well, yeah, there's some naughty language. Oh, like. And I just like, what are you getting at, Finn? Nothing.
I think he gets a sense of humor from you.
Yeah, no, he knows. Yeah, he's.
Did I tell you
wise ass.
Our recent watching of Christmas Vacation?
No.
So, well, we watched Christmas Vacation.
We watched that too,
Christmas
with Charlotte.
And there's a couple times in there. There's a couple words in there. They know they're not allowed to say them, but they've heard them.
Well, Clark goes on that rant at the end that is just
where shit gets thrown around a fair amount in that movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the 3 of them. So I have 3 kids. Mm-hmm. My oldest is 10, and the daydream sequence comes on.
Yeah,
okay.
Where the woman takes her swimsuit off and kicks it at the window, and at one point there's one of my favorite scenes when I was a kid was you get a bit of side boob happening, right?
Okay, sure.
So, kind of as a joke, I just say, everybody look at the floor right when it's going to happen. And so my 2 youngest do, and my oldest daughter, she watches it. She goes, why? And I said, I didn't say anything. And then she saw what it was, and she turns to me and she goes, oh, Daddy. She said, I can watch that. I'm going to have them soon anyway. And then I started to cry. You've got a daughter, CJ. You're in for it. Don't worry.
I am not looking forward to any of that. Nope.
Yep.
Besides, if you want that, you should just be watching the original Vacation, because Beverly D'Angelo is don't even. And if you're doing that, you might as well
all right.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High, because it's just like
and then you just go straight to Porky's
family classic.
Yeah, there you go. What else have I been playing?
We've really gone on a few tangents here on your what you've been playing.
We're not going to have any time for tweets.
I will this will segue nicely into CJ's what you've been playing. For the Switch, Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 Plus.
Pac-Man's?
The name that just rolls right off your tongue. Pac-Man
Sure
Championship Edition 2 Plus. PMCE 2P. Just came out this past week for the Nintendo Switch. And I really enjoyed Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 when it came out a couple years ago. I mean, it's a Switch game, so it's a few years old.
Sure.
But I really dug it back in the day. But I know of one guy who was not a big fan of it back in the day, but what do you know? Now that it's on the Switch,
suddenly
it has more validity. Isn't that right, CJ?
In a manner of speaking. Sure. No, here's the thing.
I thought we were talking about Ethan.
No.
Here's the thing about Pac-Man Championship Edition. I really loved the first game.
I was going to say, you were a huge fan of the first game.
Like, I was doing high score leaderboard competitions with all sorts of people. And I won. Trickman Terry had his little holiday get-together, and one of the competitions was on Pac-Man Championship Edition, and I totally won that.
Yeah.
I schooled everybody at that party. And won some Billy Mitchell hot sauce from that, by the way. Anyway, but I really love the first game. And the first game, if you remember, it was about like clearing out both sides of the maze of dots, right?
Yes.
Before you could progress. And Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 changed that completely. I mean, it basically threw that out the window and became a game about following the dot pattern, not even clearing like both sides. You had to just build up enough dots in order to make the character or the bonus thing appear that you could then eat and progress to the next stage. So when it came out on PS4, I bought it and I was disappointed that it wasn't more of Pac-Man Championship Edition, because I had spent so much time with that game. Right? Is that fair?
Yep.
Sure.
So
still a big baby, but
now, because more time has passed since I played really either one, and I watched some videos, some previews of the Switch version, and I don't know. I've started playing it, and it just kind of I figured out the new rules, because now ghosts don't actually kill you the first time you run into them, right?
Right.
It's a whole.
They get nudged a bit.
They get nudged a little bit, right?
But if you nudge them a couple times repeatedly, then
like 4 or 5 times,
then they'll flip out and try and kill you.
Yes, but you can usually run away from them,
right,
unless there are more than one on the screen.
If you're a yellow belly,
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
And Pac-Man's belly is yellow.
That's true.
There you go.
Oh, there it is.
There you go. But so yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with the game on Switch and have played a lot of the stages so far.
Yeah.
More than I played on the PS4. So yeah, I'm quite enjoying it. I played it both docked and in handheld, and it does have some slight performance issues.
Oh,
I don't know if you've noticed this.
Well, I mean, Pac-Man is a pretty new game for the Switch.
It is. It is. It does have some slight hiccups, usually like between stages.
Have you tried scaring the game?
Not a whole lot.
Make it hold its breath.
Yeah.
Stare at the sun.
Or when there are a lot of the sleeping green ghost groups that you have to wake up and all that whole thing. But yeah, I am really enjoying it.
It's a fun game.
It is.
It's a fun game. Don't be fooled.
Indeed.
Don't be fooled by your previous distaste for it.
I enjoy it now.
Your sad sick devotion to Pac-Man Championship Edition 1.
Oh, that first game was really damn good.
Oh, it is. Don't get me wrong.
Really damn good.
They are two different flavors of a delicious pie.
They look similar, but they play very differently.
It's like eating an apple pie and then eating a Dutch apple pie.
No.
The same core ingredients, but two distinct and delicious flavors. So,
okay,
put that in your pie hole. Yep.
Okay.
Rat.
Is that all you've been playing?
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, I played a little bit more of Monster Hunter World.
Yeah.
I have discovered that I really like the light bowgun weapon, which is a ranged weapon, mainly because I can shoot from a distance and hit the monsters from a distance. And I've been watching videos on how best to use the light bowgun.
So be a coward.
So yeah, basically. No, okay. I'm not real good at Monster Hunter yet, I would say, but I had some listeners join me in playing a couple nights this past week and had a lot of fun. Getting through the story. I'm a hunter rank 10 now.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
It is right at the beginning, really.
What would Dormerbot say about that?
He would say
level 70 or bust.
There you go.
That's right. It might go but yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. It looks fantastic. And yeah, I'm kind of getting into it. I wouldn't say I'm a hardcore Monster Hunter person, but I have had fun with it. So
yeah,
there's that. Also played Dragon Quest Builders.
Yeah.
I am in chapter 2 now of Dragon Quest Builders. Which, by the way, chapter 1, a lot longer than I would have thought that it would be. I kept waiting for it to end because you have to finish chapter 1 to open up the sort of free build mode.
Okay.
And my daughter was watching me play, and she was having a lot of fun watching me, and she wanted to play too. And so I loaded up the demo of Dragon Quest Builders on her Switch, which she proceeded to play through. And I don't know if you saw the picture on Twitter, but
does the demo contain all of chapter 1?
No.
Okay.
No.
It does not. It brings you to the point where you get your first portal, and then it ends. So, I mean, it's a good chunk of game. It's like an hour and a half of the video game, but yeah. And it limits like what you can build and whatnot. So, she just started building items like whenever she could, and she got it in her head that if she put torches all the way around her village and everywhere inside of her village, that monsters would not attack.
That's awesome.
So it's like almost every square is a torch. It's kind of crazy. But yeah,
I love the logic thing.
Then I let her play in the free build mode on my game.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Did you yell at her every 5 seconds for ruining your world?
No, because the cool thing about Dragon Quest Builders is that it gives you for like 5 save slots for each chapter in the game. So what I did is I just made save number 5 her save, and she can do whatever she wants with it. So started her off in chapter 1. I already finished chapter 1, so she can go ahead and do whatever she wants there.
Nice.
All right.
There you go.
Let's see what else. I played a game called Hunt Showdown.
Excuse me?
Hunt Showdown.
Oh.
Okay. So you might remember this maybe from E3. It's a game by Crytek, and the thing that was most memorable at E3 was in the demo, this band of 2 hunters goes out and hunts this spider that is in a barn. And there's a
Charlotte?
It was gifable at the moment. Like they shined a light on this spider and it just like freaks out and moves and scampers away, and it's very frightening.
Is there a John Goodman skin for this game?
It's a very large spider. What's that?
Is there a John Goodman skin for this game?
No.
So you can reenact arachnophobia.
No.
Remember that?
No.
Hey, you remember that? Hey, remember that time in Arachnophobia when John Goodman fought the giant spider? Classic.
So in this game, it's kind of a take on Battle Royale in a way, and I'll explain it this way. You hire hunter characters, and you basically recruit your own character, and if you die in the match, that character is dead. So if you live and are able to progress and level them up, then
if you die, that character's dead.
It's permadeath.
Right. It works.
So you have to hire another hunter from level 1 and start leveling
okay.
up.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm saying.
Nice.
So it's an online game where there are 5 teams of 2.
Okay.
there could be solo players as well. In
10 players altogether.
5 separate bands.
Okay.
And you have to hunt a particular thing. It's either the spider or the butcher in the game right now. It's in early access, by the way. So, but you are not aware how many teams are still left. And you have to walk around the map finding clues, which if you find a clue, it'll like show you on the map, okay, it's not at all in this area of the map. And usually you find 3 clues and you know exactly where you're going. So it'll kind of piece the map and show you where you're going. But you don't know where the other players are. You don't know how many teams are left. And you don't know when it's clear to go get the bounty that you're looking for. And when you start, when you get to the bounty monster and kill them, you have to banish them because they're evil. You see.
Okay. You banish them like after they've been killed.
Yeah, it's a lot like Fantasia for Genesis. And
so it's terrible.
Yeah, warlocks. Yeah. No. So once you start banishing the monster to get your bounty, all the players that are left are alerted that you're doing this. Okay. And it takes, 30 seconds, a minute, whatever, and you're vulnerable during this time. And once you get the bounty and you start running, you have to run towards an exit to actually escape with it. All the players can see you on the map.
Okay.
And maybe prevent you by killing you from getting out with the bounty. So really interesting take on multiplayer. I only played like 3 matches, so and it's an early access game on Steam now. $30 if you want to try it yourself. And it's just really interesting because in the environment they have different things that if you run past them or don't sneak by them, they'll make a lot of noise, like groups of crows that'll, if you walk past them, they'll just like disperse and make a whole lot of noise to alert teams that you might be there. Or some of the cabins that you'll go in will have like bottles on ropes near the doors, so you'll like go through a door and make a shit ton of noise. And it's just a really interesting game. And I would encourage people to at least check out a couple videos of it. It's if anything that I said sounds at all interesting, check out some videos and maybe check out the game. But yeah, Hunt Showdown from Crytek.
Cool.
Yes.
Not bad.
And that is all I've been playing.
Fabulous.
So you know what I think it's time for now?
Tweedly-diddly-dee.
No.
Wait, what?
We're gonna end the show. This is
we're done?
We're not gonna do any tweets?
I don't think so.
Well then, okay, hold on. Tweedly-diddly-dee. Tweedly-diddly-dee. Tweet. It's the end of the show. Ta-da!
Boom. Maybe we'll do one.
I knew it.
Crap. Tweet. We're gonna cram in one tweet.
I'm kidding. No, we won't. All right. Have a soundboard for that now, Phil. You don't need to do it. Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1Podcast on the Twitters, or you can go to our internet website at playeronepodcast.com. There you'll find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Seward.
I got held up this week because I had a catastrophic failure on my computer on Friday night.
Yeah, you sure did. That did not sound fun.
Spilled computer juice everywhere.
You'll find Generation 16 episodes.
I have not gotten my Premiere Pro back up and running. I'm a little afraid to find out how that goes, but we'll see. I was really close to having this episode done, so hopefully everything's okay. I think, assuming everything's okay, it should be on early release next Monday.
Okay.
Next episode.
Okie dokie.
Very good.
Hey, you can support that on Patreon. Phil will tell you about how to do that later.
I'll get to that.
Indeed. And you'll find show notes for each episode. We'll link to a lot of the stuff that we talked about, chatted about this episode. So if you missed something, you can just check your show notes and go to our website. We also have a message board where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you'd like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting playeronepodcast.com or by going to the Apple podcast app.
That's right.
Subscribe to us there. You can also head over to the App Store and invest $1.99.
Cheap.
To pick up the Player One Podcast iPhone application. It gives you one-touch communication with us. Via the emails, the Twitters, what have you. Also, if you happen to run into any of us on the street and show us that you've downloaded that app, you can get a one-touch in on us as well. Just one.
What? All right.
Just one. Just one touch. So choose wisely. You also have all of our episodes ready to stream right to listen to device. And hey, Android cell phone telephone users, the Player One Podcast iPhone application is available for your listening device as well for that same $1.99.
Also cheap.
Find that right over there at the Amazon Android Marketplace. We're also on Stitcher Radio. You can like us on Facebook. You can watch us perform this mess live most weeks on the youtubes.com/P1 podcast. Probably not safe to let your kid watch it alone.
No.
On the YouTubes. Because you never know when we're going to drop a dirty word. Titties. You also can watch archives of our past episodes on the YouTubes as well. And if you've liked what you've heard...
And how could you?
True.
Titties. You can head over to patreon.com/P1 podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. It will help me go over to Pink Gorilla and rebuy everything that I really regret selling right now. This was a mistake. I have made a mistake. Send us your Patreon money so that I can buy back that copy of Konami Crazy Racers. I need your help. This is important to me.
But you know what? We're real close to that funding goal to get the review.
Review.
Did you decide what you're reviewing?
Ridge Racer 5.
Not many days left in February to get that up. So
Well, I know you typically need a couple days to get it up there, don't you?
Yeah.
Start winding that up early. Titties. Did you guys pick what game you might re-review?
I just said Ridge Racer 5.
Were you serious?
No, I don't know.
That's a good one though. I like that one.
One of the first games I ever reviewed for EGM.
Oh, is that right? What'd you give it? Do you remember?
First one was? I don't remember. It was a good score. First one was Episode 1 Racer for the Dreamcast.
Oh, that's a good game.
Issue 131. First review of the magazine.
Let me ask you this, Greg.
Yes.
You're a racing game guy.
Yes.
Have you seen my Chance Cube?
No.
Let me ask you this. What was the better Episode 1 racing game? The N64 or the Dreamcast?
Dreamcast.
Oh, is it? Is it is it the same game?
It's the same game.
Okay.
It's just that it doesn't look like your screen's smeared with Vaseline.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was like the same tracks and everything, but I will take your word that it is.
Yeah, it is. It's exactly.
Although
I really enjoyed that game.
Who would I trust? Who would I trust more for information on this? You or Seabake? Because Seabake is like the Star Wars guy.
That's true.
You're the racing guy, so I don't know who the authority on this is.
I like Star Wars too.
I know, but Seabake.
You're not Seabake.
Seabake really. I mean, he worked for Star Wars.
That's true.
You never worked for Star Wars.
No, I did not.
So there you go. Yeah. Hey, and you know what? If you have a couple bucks left over, head over to generation-16.com where you can find the Patreon link to help support Greg Stewart's outstanding web series about North America's favorite second banana, the Sega Genesis.
Please come support the show.
Greg?
Yes.
It will please you to know that with all of the crap that I sold,
you're not supporting the show.
Well, that's a given because I don't much care for you.
No,
but I think I only sold maybe 3 or 4 Genesis games.
That a boy.
There you go. So mainly because who owns Genesis games?
I was going to say it probably wasn't worth the price of gas to get them over there.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so there's that. Go support Generation 16 because it's great. Support Player One Podcast because you feel like you probably have to.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's it for this week. CJ.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Phil.
Gregory.
Yo.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Phil.
And thank you, both of you, for letting me talk through my game sale. This is I don't have to go see my therapist this week. This is going to save me. This is going to save me some money. So
sure.
So there we go. And thank you to all you wonderful people at home listening. Thank you to you 36 lost souls who tuned in to watch us live on the YouTubes.
Indeed.
And I guess we'll see everyone next week.
But we're not going to stop recording.
But I know that. You don't have to tell them.
Reminder.
Don't tell them.
Okay.
You're breaking the illusion.
Next week?
Next week.
Do it.
Bye-bye.